Happy New Year, Smart Start Radio community. How are you all doing? Once again, in case you forgot our name, because I know you probably haven't, because we're so memorable. We're so memorable. I am your
Oh, yeah.
co-host, Eming Piansay.
And I am your co host, Sara Robertson. Welcome back to Smart Start, everybody. I hope you are enjoying a fabulous start to the new year, getting
Hmm.
excited about everything that's coming and everything that you've done in the past year. This is a super exciting time for us at Smart Meetings because it's the time when we are kind of prepping and planning all of the awesome content that we're going to bring you in the
Hmm.
upcoming year. But just as a means to pat ourselves on the back for the past year, we actually want to share with you a white paper that has been the product of tons of hard work on part of the Smart Meetings team throughout the past year. So, this white paper is called Real Event AI, a white paper on the state of generative AI in the meetings and events industry. It was published digitally in October, and as I'm sure you've seen in our January issue, because you're on our website right now, right? Looking at our January
Obviously,
issue. Because how
obviously,
could you not? New
you
issue,
have to be.
yay!
Mm.
The beginning of every month is always the best time.
It's like
But
Christmas every month.
yeah,
Your new
exactly.
Smart Meetings magazine. Ah.
Exactly. So this white paper is in our January magazine. If you haven't taken a look at it, you really should because it is fantastic.
It's
The team has worked
awesome.
so hard on this story, this white paper. It is full of the latest research, statistics, expert insights, and some of the best AI in meetings and events content that you are going to get right now. So if
Hmm.
you haven't checked it out, this is your call to check it out.
Please do, because we work really hard on all our content all year long,
Hmm.
and we only want to create content that benefits our community and the planners who utilize
Hmm.
our content to create events that are special, unique, and inviting and engaging, and all those wonderful, wonderful things. So please
Hmm.
do check it out. But in the meantime, for our first, uh, a start of our second season, by the way,
Season
which is
two.
awesome. um, we wanted to kind of circle back to a topic that we talked about last year, but get a little more different, perspective and thoughts on it and how
Hmm.
it's evolving. So, once again, as we all know, AI has been the thing for the past
Since
year.
like ChatGPT took the
Yeah.
world by storm back
Hmm.
in what was it, 20 the end of 2022, I think was when it got really big and everyone started using it. Um Somewhere around that time. So it's 2025 now. Oh my God.
Oh my
Um
God. I feel old. Great.
so
Fun times.
when ChatGPT took the world by storm in somewhere around fall of 2022, it is 2025 now, if you can believe it. But we're still using it. We're still talking about it, and everyone's getting better and better day by day and using AI.
So I wanted to circle back to someone who we've interviewed for our magazine a couple times, Dr. Richie Karaburun. I am really bad at names. I'm sorry if that was butchered, but Dr. K for short.
Sorry, Dr. K.
Um, he's a really awesome person. He
Hmm.
works at NYU, and he is a clinical assistant professor and director of the HI Hub Incubator. So essentially, what he does is he helps work with young, developing hospitality um, people who are trying to create like their businesses based
Yeah.
around hospitality
We could
and
even say
events.
emerging professionals.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's a good
Yes,
word.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and it's really interesting. Like if you have time, please go check that out. High
Hmm.
Hub, HIHUB, um, NYU. They're great. They really help students like think out their ideas and really work through it to create, the future of hospitality for what's to come and
Hmm.
for what people in businesses can expect. It's really
Hmm.
interesting. And if you know someone who's interested in going back to school or is going to school for
Hmm.
hospitality, please check them out because
Hmm.
they're a great resource. And they really help you figure out like how can my business thrive in this industry.
Hmm. With the
And it's
tech that I
it's
have
really
at my
great.
disposal. So Dr. K was so interesting to talk to. Absolutely just has insights into things that I think when Eming and I sat down to record this episode, we were not prepared for the things he would tell
Not
us
at
about.
all. Not at
So in
all.
the next hour or so, you're gonna hear slash see us sitting there like jaw dropped. What? And he's honestly he has so many amazing insights and intel
Hmm.
into the evolution of tech as it pertains to our industry. And
Hmm.
also as someone who was like pretty recently in college,
Hmm.
um oh gosh, I feel like I missed out not having him as a teacher. He was so
Oh
awesome.
yeah. No, he's great. He is so insightful and so thoughtful because he really thinks about how all the different aspects of AI will interact with your education.
Hmm.
And he made a really interesting point, which you'll hear about, like, it's easy to tell when you use AI sometimes because if you don't edit, like
Hmm.
the whole idea of using AI in a way that's responsible is like, having it help you, but also
Hmm.
going back to like make sure like this works for me and I'm
Yeah.
not just utilizing AI, I'm actually inputting myself into the
Hmm.
export as well.
Yeah.
And I think we sometimes forget about that part because
Hmm.
it's really easy to use it as a crutch, I
Yeah.
think, anyways. And then that's the whole fear of like,
Hmm.
because again, he makes one comment which is terrifying for us is that, podcasts will be, hosted by AI. But
AI
honestly,
generated, yeah.
how can you duplicate a Sarah Robertson? Like, for real. How can you
How can you
duplicate Charlotte the
duplicate
cat
her?
who's
Yeah,
in the
I was just
background
gonna
yelling?
say,
Like,
Charlotte the
it's
cat in
not
the background
possible.
yelling at me because I'm not holding her. You will see or hear her make a guest appearance a little later in this episode and
Yeah.
like absolutely jump scare me. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, the thing about AI is that it's a tool, right? We
Mhm.
use it to take these processes that used to take a lot of time, like for example, crunching numbers, going through an attendee list and figuring out all of the dietary restrictions that you have
Mhm.
and how many meals you need to serve for what dietary restrictions. And maybe somebody is vegan and gluten free, or maybe somebody is vegan and they have a peanut allergy. And maybe you have 10 people who have peanut allergies, and maybe you have two people who are gluten free. And it's so complicated and it takes so much time. Plug your list into AI and it'll organize it for you and tell you how many meals you need exactly of what.
uh, on that point, we were at a lunch the other day, and someone
Yes.
almost got served something that they were allergic to.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how did they miss that? Because, you get lists.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that would have been a great chance for AI to come and be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
here's a thing, here's a
Mm-hmm.
note, don't serve this. Um,
Right.
so things like that. But we really hope this conversation is helpful
Mm-hmm.
and inspiring in its own way for people
Honestly,
who are
yeah.
curious about the future of AI because some stuff is it's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie, it
Mm-hmm.
kind of freaked me out. But
Same.
at the end of the day, it's a tool, and we
Yeah.
need to be better at how we're using said tool. And I am
Mm-hmm.
still learning how to be better at using
Oh,
said
yeah.
tool.
Same. That's
But
something that I think when I travel, especially, and I have conversations with people and AI comes up, a lot of them are like, so do you use it? And it's like, well,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Um, and
we
like, it's
can't
kind
not
of
use
just the
it.
process of figuring out how we use it best for our needs. Like, Eming and I
Exactly.
are journalists, we're writers, right? So we're going to use AI differently than an event planner uses AI.
Yeah.
But we all can figure out the ways that's going to help. And honestly, if you want to learn more about the basics of using AI, you should check out our episode from last year with Sindhu Srivastava and Jeanette Roche.
Hmm.
They were
Hmm.
fantastic, and it's honestly a really good overview to AI. But consider this season 2 episode level 2 of AI and just event tech, using the technology tools, developing tools, and running with it. Because there's so many interesting insights that Dr. K brought in.
So in the meantime, listen to our AI Part 2 2.0 episode starting now.
Season 2, woohoo!
I hear your cat
Oh my
Charlotte.
gosh.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
working
It's
from
fine.
home
It's
means
fine.
that my
It's fine.
cat is
It's
begging for attention. She's trying to crawl into my lap right now.
it's fine.
We
Hey,
can't do
Dr. K,
this.
how are you doing today?
Good, good, Eming. Hi, Sarah. How are you guys
Hi,
doing?
Dr. K. It's great to have you.
Thank
So for
you.
our so for our smart start people who don't know Dr. K, I've spoken to Dr. K multiple times in the past 2 years, at least once a year, about AI and its impact on the meeting industry. And we thought because, it's been heating up that topic of conversation in the meeting space and beyond, I really wanted to talk to you because you have given us so much information and you've really set the tone about how we should look at how folks are being trained in AI in the classroom and beyond. And so, just to kind of kick things off, for folks who don't know about you and what you do, can you kind of give us a little
Intro?
What?
intro?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your
Yes,
elevator
that.
pitch.
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Richie Karaburun. I'm originally from Turkey. I had to say this, someone was like, what kind of accent is this? So originally from Turkey, and I've been here for 30 years. I was in the hospitality events industry for over 25 years. So last 10 years, I've been teaching. I'm a full-time faculty at NYU, Tisch Center of Hospitality. I teach predominantly hospitality technology classes as well as business development and brand management classes. And I'm also a director of Innovation Hub Incubator program for NYU. And I am very active in the industry as well as in the academia, because my main goal is to really close that gap between the industry, what I call it real world, and academia. So hence, I ironically just came back last night from Arizona from a big AI conference.
Wow. What was this conference?
It
Oh my
is
gosh.
called, oh, nice cat. I put my dog on the other side as well. So that's good.
You know what? If I close my door, she will just bang on it.
That's okay.
So,
No,
Um,
wow. Okay. Can you
beauty.
not? We're trying to
Yeah.
record a podcast right now.
this is going to be great in the actual episode. I love this.
That is a good
She's
one.
purring.
It's very genuine.
It's
Yeah.
very sweet. She's a
Yeah.
sweet cat. Okay,
That's okay.
Charlotte.
So that conference called Focusrite Annual Conference. So Focusrite is a major hospitality technology research company. So they do that. It was about 1,500 people there, and people like CEO of Expedia, CEO of Priceline, Sabre. Those major CEOs, and then we had a lot of roundtables, and I was actually speaking on a roundtable as well on the impact of AI on our industry.
Very
So
cool.
the High Hub that we've discussed
Mm,
in previous.
mm.
Can you kind of go to that more? I know there's a lot of moving parts to it. I understand that.
Yeah. It's actually this is going to be our fourth year. So we opened that. It's High Hub is innovation hub that consists of two system. One's the experiential learning, where we actually get like C events and any other companies, and then we get their system, their certification, incorporate into our syllabi. The other one that I run is Incubator, where the students, NYU students and alumni, if they have any ideas and they don't know what to do with it, if they want to actually create a company, they can actually join our incubator. We match them with mentors and investors. That's a 6 month program. After that, we do like a Shark Tank events, and then the winner gets $20,000 cash, and then we basically help them their entrepreneurial dream come true. So this is going to be our fourth cohort. The pitch day. Hopefully, you guys can join as well, either in the Zoom or in person. It'll be end of April this time.
Oh wow,
That's
Yeah.
that's so
exciting. That's
cool.
super exciting.
So, in our previous discussions that we've talked about like how you guys are utilizing AI to kind of give planners or people who want to be planners essentially when they graduate the ability to understand these tools better. And a big talk we've been talking about this a lot. And so, as we've said previously in our talks, is that people need to know how to use use AI. So, how do you guys really drive that home in terms of like and use it, but use it in a way where you're, be responsible with it, be honest with it,
Yeah.
and use it in a way that benefits you and doesn't like cause harm essentially, because AI is very like it's very here nor there at this
Mhm.
point. So if
Yeah.
you can kind of speak on that.
Yeah, we've had a
Sure,
lot.
right. Sorry, Sarah. Do you
No,
have
that's
anything?
okay. I was just going to say we've had a lot of discussions about AI ethics, and I think that that's something that people are really interested in learning about more.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it comes to using AI ethically,
Hmm. Look, it's exciting times indeed. AI. Every conference I go, regardless of the industry, right? So either higher education, hospitality, meeting planning, and healthcare, wherever you are, I call AI is 800-pound gorilla. Everyone talks about AI, right? And AI is just, I mean, it was introduced November 2022, right? If you think about it, it's only 2 years old. And it reminds me of early 90s. You might be too young, or some of your audience might be too young. In 1992, when someone was even Katie Couric and Brian Gamble, when they were talking about in today's show, hey, what is this www.internet mean? Uh,
Good
there's a
question.
clip. If you look at it, it's the Today Show clip. Katie Couric
Mm.
is really asking. Everybody talks about this www. How does that work? What does that URL mean? That reminds me of this, right? So like how we talk about internet in 90s, now we talk about AI. AI is one of the best technology that, just like every technology, this basically the whole thing is machines can do a better job than human. And people talking about artificial generated intelligence as well as super intelligence, right? So all machines can actually be better than human. And we're getting there, right? So in the conference I was, they were just talking about super agents, and I just read. In fact, just like a couple of minutes ago, MIT lab just came out with the latest research that now in Stanford they're also generating your agents. So you're going to have your agents, your persona, and they can actually generate mini yous with different personas. I can actually
Hmm.
send you that article that after they can interview you for 2 weeks straight, and then they can actually generate an agent. So then your agent can actually act on your behalf.
Do you think that
And
people are concerned about that, like when
oh
it
yeah,
comes
in
to
fact,
like stealing
you
data?
can. In fact, there is one that they just generated a podcast. So AI is going to be generating podcasts with your voice.
There goes
Oh
our job.
no. No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
You know what? In an AI generated podcast, Sarah's cat could not jump up and disrupt it. And
Making
I think
is
that that's
exactly
fun.
right, but that's humanizing effect. We're going to talk about that as
Mhm.
well, right? So it's just like every new technology, we need to use it but not abuse it, right? So I always say, fire is was a new technology, and then you can actually use fire to cook and everything, or you
Right.
can
Right.
burn the entire forest. Right. So same thing as well, or a gun. You can actually use to, be safe, or you can actually use it for harm others. So same thing AI. So when there's a new technology, use it to the best of your ability. And then in fact, I tell this generation, my students now, the cohorts, every 4 years in the university, they are the first one. In fact, within NYU, we came out for a couple of months ago. How would you cite AI? It's okay. So there are two types of professors right now. One, definitely do not use AI, that plagiarism. That's okay. The other professors, like, you know what? We should use this technology. We should use it responsibly, but we should definitely cite it. So,
Mhm.
in fact, we were giving that leadway. We were actually giving a couple of statements by the NYU central administration that, how would you actually encourage to your students, and then what are the rules of engagements,
Right.
right? So I am the person that you have to use AI. AI is going to make us a lot more creative and a lot more productive. And but you definitely have to actually use it responsibly, and you have to
Mhm.
cite it. In fact, we created how to do AI citation in APA or MLA
Right.
format, right?
Could
That's
you,
really important.
sorry to interrupt, could you explain a little bit more about what is the difference in using AI responsibly in this way where you cite it and you use it to the best of your ability to
Yeah,
get what you need
very,
done
very good.
versus
Yeah.
using AI as plagiarism? Like what does each of those uses look like?
It's exciting. In fact, a lot of education ethicists, they are now looking for the redefinition of plagiarism. How do you define plagiarism at the age of AI? So it's this. We're doing it right now. There are ethicists, high education ethicists. There's this. How could you define plagiarism? Right? Is using AI plagiarism, or not, or how much of this. The key here, and again, this is, we're all learning. That's why it's exciting. No one knows. If someone says, I know it all, I solved it, that it's lie. He or she is lying, right? So we don't know. But what we know is when I get papers, and if it is fully written by AI, I understand. And then I make only one comment: over reliance on AI killed this paper, killed you.
Very honest. Very
Wow.
honest
Over, I
response.
don't look. I can also, although it's, since this is not 100% truth, there's Turnitin. Normally we used to turn it in, and then Turnitin used to say, all right, you actually plagiarize from these websites, 60%, 80%, etc. Now Turnitin added the AI component on it. I can actually see the paper that it is 90% robot written. But I can't use that because this is not 100%. I tell my students as well, future events managers or hospitality students, and I make my sense. Over reliance. How do we get this? My students like, sir, how do you actually understand this? First off, it's still very generic. So that's why. So when you use AI, I said use it, but take responsibility and then humanize it. Because in many cases, AI is very, very generic. It is a very robotic terms, and then AI loves certain words as well that and it's gonna get better and better. It's gonna be written as like humans, but right now it's not there. So. And then when you read hundreds of papers like we do on each assignments, we basically, and especially when you see the students in the class, how they speak and the command of their English and everything as well, then you basically understand that heavy relying. So my direction is use it. Use AI, same thing with the meeting planners and the students, to actually give you ideas to make you more productive, and then to basically get more ideas and delve in and use your human side of it. Use your intelligence, because still, thank God, it might change. Still, humans are at this time better on humanizing the paper than the robots. So that's basically the case when I say responsibly. And again, if you take everything from AI, cut and paste it and sell it, this is your work. And you need to take responsibility. That's really your work. You're basically saying, hey, this is it. And unfortunately or fortunately, there's a huge thing is called hallucination. Not everything in AI is true. And in fact,
Right.
especially when you say, do this, but then give me citations on these topics. And I double check, triple check, and then I find at least one or two citations that AI is giving me that is not a real citation. That is not a real paper.
Hmm.
So, and that's what I tell the students, like the word is trust, but verify. Don't go blind. Don't go flying blind. Great, it might sound, but how real is that for everything? How realistic that is, and also what all the citations that are giving within AI, it might not be the right thing. And then sometimes I even say, I'm teaching entrepreneurship. Give me the best TED Talks on entrepreneurship and this topic. It's 6 out of 10 are the wrong TED Talk links. So if I didn't check it, if I send it to the students, hey, these are the best, and they would laugh at me. So still is not perfect, especially when it's actually making the link. So it's critical that people actually double check their work and double check the work of AI or the robots.
Are you seeing more of the people you work with using AI, like in almost like you're saying, like they use it like way more than they should, or are you seeing like a moderate version of it where people are using
Some
it but still
people,
okay.
some people they do use, and again, one of the things that what AI did best thing is it's really democratized the language barrier, right? Right
Right.
now, I have a lot of Asian students and Indian students and South American students.
Okay.
And English was always the barrier for, like, a native English speaker versus
Right.
a Chinese student's English speaker. So AI just really took that over.
Mm-hmm.
So you can easily write emails like everyone is doing it. Hey, make it professional. And then bingo, that AI gives you beautiful. And that's what I even tell the students, like, do not send me this right now. When I get these emails, I know 99% which one actually is robot written. I said, you don't even sound like this. Why do you actually send an email like that? I said, it's okay to check the grammar, check the edits and
Right.
everything. But when you actually say, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know this word. Like, I know you
Right.
wouldn't know. Like, how would you even? It is just, personalize it, right?
Right.
So, and some people, unfortunately, just like every technology, just like alcohol,
Right.
right? Alcohol is good just to make you feel, in the cocktails. But if you have it too much, I mean, alcohol is
Right.
not good. So for those of you who listen to me, no, no, no. But for if it's too much, then that just really, just like everything, and it hurts you at the end. It hurts the quality of your work. But it definitely, a lot of people think, oh my God, is AI killing the teaching? Or AI in hindering the creativity? I am
Mhm.
a big, big believer that AI is enhancing the teaching, enhancing the
Mhm.
creativity, as long as you know how you use it and when you use it.
Totally. I think there's also a difference in like different formats of AI, like a large language model that can like write up something for you versus something like Grammarly AI, which will check your work, proofread your work for you, or Otter AI, which is a transcription program. It'll transcribe audio for you and make a transcript. So you don't
Mhm.
have to have somebody like transcribing it during a, board meeting or something like that, So like there are different forms.
Yes, exactly. And I tell everyone, like, that $20 that I spent for AI's ChatGPT Plus, that's the best $20 a month. I basically say I feel like I have an assistant full time, 724 over $20 a month. And it's less than a couple of Starbucks lattes, right? So in a way, that's the best investments. And you can do everything with AI. And then there are different kind of AIs. I don't know if you guys know Notebook LM by Google. Phenomenal. Notebook LM. Now, not that many people know this because everyone thinks AI is up. ChatGPT. ChatGPT is only one of them because OpenAI,
Mhm.
they were the first one. Just like everyone knows Uber, and then everyone calls Uber, even the Lyft. Hey, did you call Uber? I use Lyft. And just the name recognition, right? So
Mhm.
Notebook LM, Google's Gemini is their AI, and it does wonders. Copilot, Microsoft Copilot Plus does phenomenal presentations. In fact, the other day I told the students, I said, don't waste your time to create these presentations. Work on the content, spend more time on content developments, and then put in AI, put in Microsoft Copilot if you have that, plus version, and they do wonders on PowerPoint presentations. And so then you have enormous amount of time for your hand rather than trying to beautify your presentation. They have websites to do that for you.
That's something that I think we're hearing a lot of people say about AI is that you can use it to do those things that are time-consuming tasks that don't take a lot of brain power, and then you can use that time that you're given to implement your own creative analytical mind.
And exactly, and you can put your humanize, but I always say
Mhm.
humanize it. Put your own personality on it. It just started now in the beginning when I said that Stanford study that they are personalizing it based on you, and then I think they're going to get to know you. So you're going to have your super agent, AI agent. It's going to be exactly like the like what you like, what you say, and not what you do. Until then, really humanize and put your personality, and then that's going to make you a better student, better worker, better meeting planner as well, rather than cut and paste it, whatever AI says, and send it to your customer or send it to your professor. That's not fun,
Right.
and that's not you.
Right. One of the things that we sort of talked about in our last talk, for my last article that I did with you, you were kind of giving us a sense of like what are the new aspects that that folks at NYU are using. Like you talked about the what's it
VR,
called? The VR
VR,
headset.
yeah.
And that's and you talked about the first time you talked about it, you told me it was like it was all right, and then the second time you said it was amazing. So is there any been updates how that has progressed? Do you use it more, like, or has it evolved in any way that has been
Yeah,
interesting to you
it's
guys?
exciting because I mean the first time we started with Oculus, right? So
Right.
and then you
Watching.
realize it wasn't it's clunky. You hold these two. Then
Right.
came Apple Vision Pro. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, Apple Vision! And for those of you and for your audience, if they could ever demo the Apple Vision Pro, and that was a class assignment for my students, go to nearest Apple store. It's free. It takes 20
Mm-hmm.
minutes. You can even schedule that and get the demo of Apple Vision Pro. Just say I'm here to actually get a demo. They give you 20 minutes demo. Many of the students found it as life changing. So then came Apple Vision Pro. One of the biggest thing Apple Vision Pro was everything was perfect except the price, $3,800. So now Apple announced that they are actually coming with a $15, $1,500 or $1,800 version dollar still, but the technology is getting cheaper. And then what I'm actually
Right.
excited, and it's now the new version also came up, is the Ray-Ban Meta glasses as well. That I think I'm the most excited about.
Have you
I'm
used
not
it
familiar
yet?
with that.
I haven't used this. I have customers and then I have also friends who have that. So if you actually Google it, Ray-Ban Meta glasses, it's all
Yeah.
called smart glasses, exactly like that, like what I
Mm-hmm.
have, but it's smart, so I can actually record this conversation or make a live feed to my Facebook and then send messages
Oh
and
my
then
God.
find the answers if I
I
see
know.
the questions
Okay.
and
I've
then that.
never I've never seen anything like that except for in sci-fi movies. So it really is the 21st century. Oh my
It
goodness.
it is whatever you see in the sci-fi movies. Like, I mean, I don't know, when we were a child, you were again too young. Jetsons. Whatever Jetsons happening,
Love the Jetsons.
I mean, this is happening. Flying cars, flying, that's in Dubai. You can actually take the flying taxis, right? So
Mm.
that's, and robot, the holograms, and now super agents. I can send to this podcast my super agent. Much my word, in 2 to 3 years, you might be actually doing this podcast, or maybe entire AI generation, three of us. We don't have to be physically at the same room, and then our super agents will actually be doing this because they will know exactly what we know. They will know exactly how we talk with my voice as well and your voice. And listen to this. I'll send you the link that the AI generated podcast with the actual voice. That's phenomenal.
Okay, I have two questions. One, for those who don't really know how those classes work, how does that work for people in this industry? How can they use that in a way that is helpful for them? And two, how does the super agent also help eating? Like how
Uh-huh.
like, I get
Right.
that it's new, but what would that do? Like how would that change
Yeah.
the
If I
game
could
for
just
the industry?
if I could just add in a question about the super agent also, it's like, say we are using super agents, how will us, like the real us, know, what we've talked about, the information that we've gathered, and, like what, thoughts
That's the
were,
danger. Well, let me
brought up.
answer the first part of the question of that the goggles. What we call this concept of try before you buy concept,
Mm.
right? Or now try
Hmm.
before you book. And many of the meeting planners could actually use, they don't have to travel. Good old days that we used to go site visits and everything as well. All you have to do now, put your virtual glasses, see the city, see the attractions, or see the hotel, meeting planning space, and then see the conventions. You don't have to even travel, or you don't have to waste that time just for the site inspections,
Right.
right? We used
Hmm.
to go, old times. One of the best thing that they used to do, oh, I'm going to site visits, they either
Mm-hmm.
different
Mm-hmm.
cities, different convention centers. Now it's everything there. Marriott is using it. A lot of cities are using it. There's great YouTube 360 videos, and
Right.
that works beautifully with the big VR glasses, right?
Hmm.
So that actually could be one of the best use on that. The second part of the question, Super, is brand new. As I told you, literally,
Right.
I heard this a couple of days ago. Literally, I just read it.
Breaking
The news
news.
study, breaking news
Breaking
from
news.
MIT and Stanford. So they basically hired 1,000 Stanford computer science students. They pay them only $100. They interview each of them two weeks constantly. Let's get to know them, and they basically created super agents and that's what people in the AI conference, they were talking about this. All of us, we used to call avatar, but it's all of us are going to have the agents right now. For example, there's task agents, right? When you go to virtual chat bots, and by
Yeah.
you has it, we name it violet because the violet color. Every company, Amazon has it, Bank of America has Erica. So, or these virtual chatbot, those are what we call this task force, right? So you just ask them. Now they're actually the super agents. I'm gonna have my agent so I can actually send it to wherever I want my agent to be, and then I don't need to be in. Sometimes don't we wish? Oh my God, I wish I would clone myself. You will be able to clone yourself digitally, with what my understanding on the super agents. So I'm going to tell my super agent, Richie, go actually plan a family vacation. You know my family, you know my budget, you know. So my agent is going to go talk to the different agents, travel agents this time, and then talk to different agent who was basically in booking the hotels, and talk to the virtual agents maybe in the hotel. And my agent is going to do that. I don't have to spend time on this. Or I'm going to tell my professor agents, says, hey, I'm doing an AI research, do all the research for me, come up with the top 10 sources. Then I can do other things. So I think we are getting there. It's very excited. I mean, when I see this, it is coming. It's brand new, but imagine it's getting there because technology allows that right now.
Right. And then the real you would just be able to sort of like look at what the agent found and determine what is the best
And
choice.
your question, Sarah, is like, oh my God, isn't that scary? It is
It's a
scary.
little
I mean, like,
scary.
what's going to happen? Like, what if people use same thing? I think one of the dental company was using Tom Hanks for their ads, and Tom Hanks sued. Like, it's not me. I mean, it looks like me, sound like me, acts like me, but that's not me. And in fact, that was exactly during Hollywood strike, and you guys are in the West Coast,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and that was one of the main thing on the negotiations,
Yeah.
AI
AI.
usage of actual brands of the actors,
Right.
right? Right
Hmm.
now, I mean, that's why you said, oh my God, it's like sci-fi. I said Black Mirror. Watch the
Kind
Black
of.
Mirror episodes.
That's what I was thinking about you said. I'm like, oh my God, it's literally a
It sounds like
Black
Black
Mirror
Mirror.
episode.
Have you watched the Salma Hayek episode of Black
Yes.
Mirror?
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That is the
Scary.
super agent, Salma Hayek. Oh, sorry, you gave the name and you gave the look, you gave the sound, you gave the acting, and then they use Salma Hayek's without Salma Hayek is knowing.
Did they give you a sense about how long that would take to enter the public realm of use, or is it just like it's okay, like it's so new, but like
It's gonna be quick. I think I would say about in 2 years, it's gonna go in there. So because technology is so quick right now, right? So it
yeah.
just really, and then what happens, to Sarah's point, oh my God, the law. So everyone's
Yeah.
talking about AI regulation. AI is now wild, wild west.
Yeah.
No one understands it. Everybody's doing it. It sounds cool, sexy, quick. But then who's controlling that? Where Sarah goes like, oh my God, what about you have an issue with this? Who do you go? Which law is protecting you? And in fact,
Right.
that's what I tell my son is getting ready for law school. And I said, dude, you have to actually select many of the good law schools. Now they have the AI technology law track. No more I mean, there's criminal defense and tax and
Hmm.
now they're looking at the AI and technology law because
Mm.
law is way behind of technology and it's going to
Yeah.
have to catch up. And Sarah's point, who's going to protect me if my agent, super agent, does something bad, go crack the
Hmm.
code for a bank, and then
Right.
rob the bank online, and then I'm not saying that's going to happen, but then I'm here. But who
Right.
Right.
right now people are talking about this, like I can generate an art, an
Hmm.
AI.
Or just
Whose
like,
art is this?
right. Yes. And
Like, do I
also
have a
just like when it
copyright? In fact,
comes,
that's why the meeting planners now, I use a lot of AI generated images in my presentation.
Right.
I just have to
right,
AI generate it. I don't have to
or
give
like
any copyright materials.
in the sense of meeting planners, when it comes to a person's privacy, a person's data, a person's, private company information, you know, how will the agent, how will you make sure that the agent protects that information?
Yeah, we've just talked about this in a meeting, and then in the marketers, there's this paradoxical piece, we call it, like marketer's nightmare. Two P's, paradox. One is privacy, one is personalization. Now, the consumers, meeting attendees, they want to be as personalized service as possible. The more personalized service you want, the more data you have to give in, and that means you're giving in your privacy. And then what happens then, right now, I tell my students, cybersecurity is one of the top career track, because then you're going to need cybersecurity experts that with
Right.
all the data protections and everything as well. And it's funny because the new generations, we were discussing this in this meeting, they said, look, TikTok has all my information anyway. TikTok knows me better than most of my friends. I mean, right now, imagine there was a suicide when the one of the high school guy was actually discussing with the chatbot and fall in love and everything. I mean, these things happening, and those are just a bad example, extreme example. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there right now. They are having relationship or creating emotional bond with the chatbot or with the super agents or any agent. Those are the digital chatbots. They are the AI. So who's going to regulate that? And that's the governments are actually working on it right now. They're not there yet.
At the event you were at, did they discuss like the incoming person who's
Agents,
going to be
super
leading our
agents. Yeah, they
country and how
discussed
that
this.
might affect that and how
That
that's
was
going to
the
be an issue? 'Cause I feel
No,
that's
because
going to
they
be a
said this is the
conversation.
future. Because that it before that, right now, everybody start using it. I love using Erica and Bank of America. Violet, we use a lot in NYU, and I love Expedia and Amazon.com. Chatbots are
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal, right? So we are already using agents at one-sided. We just
Right.
tell them, okay, do this, and we're getting used to it. And now
Right.
they said, look, imagine, because everyone has different personas. I have a persona as a dad. I have a persona as a my professor. I have a persona as a husband. So then I'm gonna actually tell one of my. It's like, okay, get a gift for my wife for the 25th year anniversary. Go search, and that's gonna be that's the case, and go search it. Basically, that's what they did. They were actually a couple of presenters there. I'm like, wow, that makes perfect sense, because there's a task force digital. It's basically your digital twin in a way, with different personas, and the technology will allow that, and it's doing it. And I'll definitely send you that
Thank you.
article, so you'll get a kick out of it. And it's great. I mean, I always follow MIT Lab and
Yeah.
Stanford. These are forefront of AI. So you learn all the new things.
Do you think that with all these new innovations that are happening, that it's helping or hurting the incoming group that are going to be working in this industry? Like, because it's like these tools are helpful, but they also may be hindering like your ability to like actually learn a skill
Right.
set in a way. So are you seeing that as a problem with this, or are you just kind of like, we're just going to see what happens and hopefully it works out?
It's there are two schools of thought, right? Like everything. I think no, definitely not gonna hurt them. It's not gonna make them lazy. It's not gonna make them less creative. It's not gonna make them, and it's only going to make them more creative. And we're gonna get used to it. This is the hybrid world, AI
Mhm.
and human, written. So right now, everyone's like, "Oh my God, I wonder who wrote this, right? Is this AI written or is human?" And I think we're going to get used to this hybrid work, hybrid product, hybrid brochures and hybrid meeting planners, like together with AI and then human. It's really going to make them just more productive. And just before this podcast, I was curious and I gave the right prompt. It's all about prompting, right? The more prompt you give to ChatGPT,
Yeah.
I did this for both in Notebook LM. And I said, all right, I'm, organizing, I'm a new event planner, organizing a board meeting for university, 2 days, give me some ideas. My God, so everything, some of the things that I didn't even think, oh, I can have that meeting in New York Library. That is a
Hmm.
phenomenal. And they can
Mm.
stay in the such and such hotel because then they can walk to.
Right.
So uh, imagine all the details, all the personalization details, and the more you ask, and the agenda items, and how I can make it more fun, more educated. The more you give, you're like, oh my God, then you have all these options. Then you use your person because you're going to choose that. Then I'm like, oh my
Right.
God, this is great. I'm choosing this. Even to the title. Okay, let's find a sexier name for the meeting. And then it gives you five. AI is
Right.
not choosing that for you.
Right.
It's giving that. And you use, oh, okay, this could be actually very good. And that complements it, basically.
Yeah, I went to an event called sorry, the C2 in and the big thing about AI they were saying, it was like, don't worry about the AI becoming a robot and doing that. It's the people who are working on it, who are inputting the code, who are telling the prompts what to do. Those people we should be worried about. So, and it kind of scared me a little bit because like if that's the future, that and then this, like so with all of this, are you hopeful that AI is going to be a a thing for good, or is there, because there's so many question marks now as to what can be done, who's controlling it, and how it's going to be used. I mean, I get that in our industry that maybe isn't the issue per se, but it doesn't mean it can't be.
Hmm.
So just like from that point, like how do you
Again,
feel?
I'm cautiously optimistic,
Okay.
cautiously hopeful, I would say. And what I think I only wish, yeah, one of the things that you said, AI is good as the people who actually design it, hence the hallucinations and bias. I mean,
Right.
in one,
Exactly.
when you basically tell them, hey, give me a picture of a female professors, AI
Right.
automatically assume that female is going to be white
Right.
as if there is
Exactly.
no African
Stuff like
American.
that.
So that's one bias.
Yeah.
Why? It should have asked, would you like to have,
Mm,
Asians and Caucasians and this, that? And I think it's going to have to get there rather than automatically actually asking more questions. And
right.
because there are a lot of biases, there are a lot of hallucinations. I told you about, citations, and those are very dangerous still,
Right.
not there. And the second, I really wish that the law is going to catch up because just like every technology, it could be like a nuclear weapons, right?
Right.
How you use that? That's, it's right now a lot of people are on the other side. Oh no, no, it's not, but it's coming. Whether that's what you can't put your head in the sand, and that's what I tell my students and events managers: read, form your own opinion, listen to podcasts like this, go read about AI, and just like when I say, when we talk about politics, listen CNN, Fox, MSNBC, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, then form your own opinion rather than going with that. Same thing I would say, read and you decide what it needs to be done. To me, based on that, law needs to really catch up as soon as possible because right now, you said nobody's actually protecting or nobody's actually watching what's happening in an AI world. Everyone can do, they can create any products that they want.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, on that note, I've thoroughly depressed myself, but thanks. That's my
So
own fault.
it's not depressing. Like everyone thought when internet came in, oh my God, internet is gonna actually kill. Look at this right now,
Right.
right? That we can't even live without an internet. right? So
Hmm.
like, it's funny. When we were children, whenever we go into someone else's house, first question we used to ask, where's your bathroom, right? And when
Hmm.
my kids now go, like the first question they ask, what's your Wi-Fi code,
If password.
right? So
Right.
Yeah.
it's interesting. And when in the 90s, oh my God, this porn site is gonna make the society is that, and is this, banking, is it safe, and that. Look where we are right now. We really,
Right.
same thing with AI. And AI is really, I mean, everybody's using it already. That's the same thing. When I actually say, who's using AI? Like, oh no, we don't use AI. We don't. Like, okay, who talked to Siri? Well, last time I
Hmm.
was like, okay, who actually use the chatbot anytime? Those are already AI, and it's coming in. And then now, ironically, some of the event managers are not using it because
Hmm.
when I actually said, they're not trusting, they don't feel comfortable.
Right.
Still to this day, um, I think it's almost 60% last time when I did this whole thing, they don't have the pro version. They still use the free version. It's good, but it's
Right.
not as good as that. They didn't even know that they actually had options,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and little they know. So I think more people figured it out. Like when I figured Copilot Plus
Right.
with that great addition to the PowerPoint. Oh my God. And I feel like, then you don't need a designer.
Hmm.
You can
Right.
actually design beautiful PowerPoint presentations. And so you don't have to find a designer, pay for the designer. So they're learning it. And I think the more people will learn how you can make your life easier.
Yeah.
And one of
Right.
the things that I saw is like one lady says, I wish AI could do my laundry, AI could do my, ironing and everything. I don't know. Robots, I'm sure, are going to come in one day, just like we've
Right.
discussed in the hotels, are using robots for room
Right.
service delivery. And maybe we'll get there as well. My prediction in 10 years from today, you will
Hmm.
have robot coworkers in any of the offices.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Looking forward to
I
that
think
day. It's gonna be
one
interesting.
thing, right? One thing that I really want to briefly bring up because it came up just a little while ago is this concept of prompt engineering.
Oh, yeah.
So, listeners, if you haven't heard of it, you can actually hear a lot more about it in our AI episode from last year with Sindhu Srivastava and Jeanette Roche, and bias in AI. So Cynthia was talking a little bit about prompt engineering. Essentially, it's like that thing where Dr. K just brought up, you can say, give me an image of a female professor, and it'll give you an image of a white female professor. That's when you go in with, recreate this image to show me an African American female professor who wears glasses while she is standing at a podium talking to her students. You can tack on those extra things that'll curate the image to what you want, and you can use your own intellect to ensure that it is inclusive in the way that you need it to be, you know, in the way that your audience needs it to be. So I just wanted to briefly mention that. Check out our episode Bias in AI from last year to learn more.
Yeah. I mean, I think meeting planners can also use AI before meeting, during meeting, and after meeting. One of the best things that I sometimes use when I actually get my student evaluations from each class, and I put them in an AI, I said, tell me good, bad, and ugly, and then give me suggestions basically for based on the low remarks. Give me the how I can make it high. Thank God I have very high ratings. But then I use that feedback generations, and then they can actually do that as well. Like, hey, when you have all the feedback forms, no more just trying to put them in an Excel and then trying to do this. Put that in. Ask any questions. What kind of action items you should actually get. That's huge. Any kind of feedback. How you can even do better. How you can personalize it. One of the main thing, the key we are talking about in that meeting, and I'll be speaking also on CES Consumer Electronics Show in January in Las Vegas on the topic of hyper personalization. Hyper personalization is the same thing for the meeting planners as well. How could you personalize the experience for each of your attendings? And unfortunately, many meetings you go, there is very little personalization. So you're actually the same. They treat you as if you and I, we are the same age. We go to the same meetings, the same contents and this, that, same attractions and nothing like, I've seen it even many meetings and I'm there with a 20-year-old and an 80-year-old, but we are doing the same thing.
Right.
So it's gonna get there, and I think AI is really giving that as well. Is that that personalization aspect that they can actually use it, and also when I talk to some of the meeting planners, they use it for their marketings. They use it for their design for their meetings, especially the new meeting planners, and it gives them an edge right away. That's
Right.
actually very good. Like how you design the room, look for different options, and how you design the marketing materials. I mean, it just think of this. You have a very smart assistant, especially if you're a new meeting planners. No more this learning curve, right? We used to have a very big learning curve for the newcomers. You just finished school and like, oh my God, your first meeting, and people are paying a lot of money to come to that meetings, and you're designing everything. Now it actually, just like we've discussed, democratizing the language barrier, and also you could even design multiple languages. If you have international thing, you don't even have to pay enormous amount of money like good old days for translation. Hey,
Yeah.
make these marketing materials in Chinese, make this marketing materials in Spanish, and this,
Right.
this, and then here we go. That's part of personalization,
Yeah.
and it's free. It's actually $20 a month, but that's okay.
So you have given us a lot to think about on this episode, so thank you so much. But before we close out, we usually ask our guests at the end of every episode, what is something that you have learned in your life that you think would benefit those who are listening to this podcast? So essentially, what is in your
Toolbox.
toolbox? Thank you, Sara.
Toolbox.
What's in your toolbox?
What's in my toolbox is curiosity. Be curious. Curiosity is really the case. Be curious to everyone, and I'm very curious. And one of my favorite quote and comes from a very smart guy named Albert Einstein. By the time you stop learning, you start dying. So use your curiosity out of your toolbox to constantly learn and constantly be up to date. Like we've just talked about this, you read it today out of the press, super agents, this, that, and start. And then, you can personalize your news with even and then learn just do technologies and AIs and metaverse, whatever that you're curious about, but be curious. And that could really be the case. And always learn, because if you stop learning, not only you start dying, you're going to be an obsolete, and nobody's going to want to hire or do business with an obsolete person that doesn't know anything what's going on, especially with the age of AI, age of technology.
Right.
It's every day, everything is changing. I mean, it's like, now this is the time of FOMO, fear of missing out. Am I missing something on my job? So this is the time of that, basically. So just stay curious. That would be my message.
Curious.
Beautiful. We are in the age of curiosity. I mean, it's always been the age of curiosity, but yeah.
Innovative curiosity.
Innovative
Yes.
curiosity. I mean, there's a lot of curiosity these days, as you can tell from this episode.
And again,
Thank you
trust
so
but
much.
verify. Again, just that comes with the curiosity. Is it really true? Like when you read something, I'm like, oh, I got this from TikTok. Like, how do you know if it's true?
Yes.
Right? Just go rather than, that. Even with AI, oh, I got all these answers. But did you even read it? Did you just double check it? Check it. And that's all curious mind, basically. And just don't ever lose that.
Right.
And verification methods. And be human, have fun.
We'll try. We will definitely try.
Have fun. Everything's going to be
Every
great. So
day.
no more, oh my God, I'm depressed, Dr. K. This technology is just... And the other thing you asked me about the toolbox, just worry about the things you have control over. Don't worry about the things you don't have control over.
Good advice
Because
for
if you
AI and for life.
if you start worrying about the things you don't have control over, life is going to be miserable. So just focus on the things you have control over.
Yeah.
And then ask yourself, do I have control over the exchange rate? No. So do I have control over this? And do I? Do I have a control over of the Ukraine and Russia peace conference? I said, no. Then, it just, but what do I have control over? My time, my 24 hours. Then I can actually control that.
Thank you, Dr. K. I
Thank you so much, Dr. K.
always love talking to you. You always teach me so many things and things that I didn't know were happening, apparently, in the world of tech.
So what would you name for this podcast? All right, Sarah, just like because one of the things that she says, send us your pictures and with the caption.
Yeah.
What would be the caption be?
Well,
Or
we
should be
can't answer that right now, but I promise we're going to come up with something good.
Let's put the transcript in the chat GPT. Ask for what would be the best thing. A lot of people are doing it, by the way. But
Right.
yeah,
Definitely.
and
Well,
then if you like,
one thing I can tell you is that we do actually read through the transcript. So,
that's
and
That's
going
fun.
through the
You check
editing
it.
process, Eming is like, when she edits the audio, she's listening to it piece by piece over and over. Like, so we know this podcast inside and out by the time we're naming it.
That's perfect.
Ideally,
So
yes.
definitely, this has been fun anytime. So next time I'll bring my super agents. Let's see
Yes.
if you're gonna
Yes.
let's see if you're gonna see the difference.
We need
can
to-
actually ask the same question to my super agent and myself. So we'll see. I'm
Whoa.
definitely
Yes, if you do get a chance to use that, please let us know
Please
so we
do.
can talk to you about it, because that is going to be big when it actually hits.
and then I
Okay.
will right after this. I'm gonna send you for that research.
Thank
piece.
you.
Thank you so
Eye-opening.
much.
Thank you
All
for
right.
being here.
Well, have a great
Anytime.
day, and we hope
You
to have
too.
you on in the future. Definitely,
Anytime.
definitely. And I'll be in
Let me
touch.
know when you have the link is ready, so I can also put it in
Of course.
the link, so I can give you guys shout out as
Absolutely.
well.
Of course,
So
of course.
keep up the good work, ladies. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy.
Well, like I said, that was a great chat we had with Dr. K. I love that he brought so much insight to things that I honestly had never thought about or considered. And the new things happening that are also freaking scary.
A little bit scary. But honestly, I think that Dr. K puts it really well when he says that this isn't something that we need to be afraid of. It's something that we need to be aware of and responsible with, right? So, yeah, honestly, go forth into the world. Keep educating yourself. Keep checking out our tools that we're creating for you, or resources and content that we're creating for you, because at the end of the day, we are your resource. And that's why we brought on Dr. K to talk to you.
Yeah. And if you happen upon a super agent Sara or Eming in the universe, just know that it's not really us.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
wonder if they'll make
version.
a super agent of Charlotte. Somebody to keep Charlotte entertained. Oh, you know what I could use a super agent for? I could use a Sara super agent to keep Charlotte entertained when I'm trying to record a podcast.
But you see, in that instance, I think Charlotte will know that that is not you.
Yes. Yeah.
That's like one time she's like, "No, you're a screen.
I know.
You're
I
a,
don't
you're
think
a Howard
that
prediction."
I think we're a couple centuries away from having a super agent that can give my cat ear scritchies.
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
well, maybe next year we'll have that for you guys. The super update about AI. The machines are alive. Watch out. But thank you all for tuning in for our first episode of our second season.
Happy New Year and happy season 2. We
Yeah.
are so thrilled that you're here with us. And thank you for being a member of our Smart Start community.
We're happy to have you here. We'll see you guys next time.
And you belong here.